Hello, everyone. My name is Tristan Diaz, and today I will be going over my proposal for the modernization and improvement of air traffic control. There are roughly 3 million passengers that fly every day and up to 5,500 aircraft in the sky at any given time in the US. With that much movement in a single day, you have to wonder how it is all managed. The answer, of course, is the FAA and its air traffic control, often called the ATC. The ATC is responsible for managing flights as they take off, fly to, and land at their destinations. However, in recent years, there has been a growing issue with delays in air travel, and part of it comes from air traffic control. The ATC has been facing issues that can no longer be ignored. Air traffic control has been experiencing an abundance of issues in recent years, but they can really be broken down into two main categories: employment and technology. ATC employment is facing the fact that there are not enough controllers to manage all the traffic that needs to be handled every day, and part of that is because of pay. The technology that controllers use is also an issue, as it is outdated and becoming less capable of managing the volume and speed of traffic in the modern era. A big indicator of these issues is seen in the result of disasters. One of such happened at LaGuardia Airport on March 22nd, 2026, when a plane collided with a vehicle on the runway, killing two pilots, two firefighters, and injuring dozens. Accidents like these are the result of overworked controllers and insufficient technology and will only become more frequent if nothing is done. The main problem affecting technology and use with air traffic controllers is that it is too old. With some systems in use up to 50 years old, there are systems being used today that predate many modern technologies that we rely on so heavily. With these systems being so old, a study done by the U.S. Government Accountability Office found that 76% of these systems are unsustainable or potentially unsustainable. Of these, most are considered to be critical pieces to the controlling infrastructure. And whether it be from funding, replacement parts, or capability, there's simply no way to keep using them. Which makes sense when you think about it, as you'd be hard pressed to find a part from one of the first personal computers. But the fact that these are critically important systems is what makes the problem so profound. However, there is another issue that affects the ATC beyond technology. That being the employees that work at the control centers themselves. Nearly half of ATC centers are understaffed, leaving more roles to be filled by fewer people, which was one of the main reasons behind the accident at LaGuardia Airport. Part of the reason for this lack of controllers is for a lack of pay. This is especially true when the government experiences shutdown, which has become a more frequent event in recent years. Because controllers are essential employees, they are expected to continue to work at maximum capacity for no pay, which hardly seems right for such a demanding job. Another reason comes from the time and difficulty it takes to train new employees, as it's a long and intensive process. This means people may not make it through the entire screening and training process, or may be discouraged by the thought of work without pay, leading to the lack of employees that we see today and stretching who is currently employed too thin to be safe. So, how do we keep the millions of daily flyers safe? One potential solution is to get commercial airlines more involved in the financial responsibility of air traffic control. Because airlines directly rely on air traffic control to keep their aircraft and passengers safe, it seems right to have them share some of the costs and what people and tech do that. Additionally, with airlines having this financial investment directly into ATC systems, any upgrades will be completed at a quicker pace, as the profit seeking companies will not want to stall projects, making them cost more than they should. This clearer transparency between ATC and private airlines could also mean that new technologies are more easily integrated between the ATC and aircraft themselves, making transitions to new systems easier for everyone. One supporting factor for this idea is the fact that the government already has a collaboration in the private sector at NASA. The Commercial Crew Program integrates companies like SpaceX with missions at NASA, reducing costs and increasing efficiency in space missions. Commercial collaboration is mostly a provider of funding, though. So, how do we actually upgrade the technology and get more people? This part of the solution can be found by working with universities to research and develop new technologies. By utilizing university resources, you are creating opportunities for researchers and students to work on practical engineering applications while also improving critical infrastructure. You could also easily get direct input on new technology from the people who would be using it, getting a more user friendly product, meaning increased usability and safety. This includes potentially applying autonomous controllers to help reduce the need for human employees overall, lowering the cost further. These projects can receive funding from both government grants and private sources, such as Think and Do, who wish to create a useful change. Additionally, universities and even community colleges can add air traffic control training as a curriculum to take as part of a degree. This means that if someone wants to get a 4-year degree but also wants a safe job option, they can train to be ready or close to ready when they graduate, leaving them better qualified to handle more options out of the gate. So, with an idea on how to fix the problems, how long would it all take? This table shows a rough estimate on the timeline of improvements, with work beginning at the start of 2027 and the complete rebuild complete in just over 5 years. With a few years after that, you will be complete automation integration using more autonomous technology to reduce the need of human employers. So, what really makes this so important? The fact is that air transportation is a big part of the US economy, accounting for 4% of GDP and will only continue to grow with things like drones becoming more common that will also need to be monitored. That means that action needs to be taken now. A nearly complete overhaul will take time, and beginning new programs and starting new partnerships will take time. We cannot wait until more people become injured or dead to start to repair problems. So let's make the right investments and start work now so that our country can remain strong and people can remain safe. Thank you.